So, what's up, everyone? I was just going on a bike ride. It actually started like the other day when I was driving or riding past this place, and I picked up that there was, I don't know, I don't know, paranormal activity or ghost activity. I just pick it up over here, um, and I'll show you what it looks like. It was originally an old hospital, but I think it was built sometime in the 1930s or 40s. Um, this is this is the hospital. I think right around here, this used to be the promenade, like where they used to drop off patients, and they would go up in here. But what I feel is like there there's a lot of spirit activity, maybe a lot of residual activity with doctors and nurses who worked here and who were here for a long time and had passed at some point in their lives. So this was like their second home or something. Or long-term care patients who have been here. Um, I don't know if I feel it over here in the newer sections, but here in the older section, I really feel that there's like a lot of activity. You can't really go up there and look. There isn't any, but here's the promenade, if you can see. This looks like it used to be the front entrance of the spot. And at some point, I think this place was used as a morgue too, because I sense a lot of dead bodies were here at some point. But yeah, I don't think we'll see anything. It's not nighttime or anything, so I didn't want to come up here during the night because I don't know if I would get in trouble, or because the police in my town, they watch everybody and for suspicious activities. But I really believe that this section of the hospital has some type of haunting, and I think a lot of it is old doctors and nurses who might have worked here for a long period of time during the 30s and the 40s up into the 50s, and then when they were so old they died and their souls just kind of came back here. I have a feeling a lot of bad experiments happened in this spot to long-term care patients, people who might have had mental illness and were housed here, or who were very sick, and the doctors couldn't do much but to keep them under a watchful eye. But yeah, I feel like there's a lot of activity in these areas right here and up in there. I can't go into the place because it's an abandoned hospital. I've been inside once before, back in the early 2000s, before they shut this place down, and I had a weird feeling that something was going on here. That they had some kind of, I don't know, spirit activity in here. As you can see, this newer section was added on to the hospital. But this section here seems like it's the oldest. And like, they might have had like a lot of doctors in here and nurses. But for some reason, I keep picking up like long-term care patients too, really sick patients who had to stay here for like a long period of time. And I think this is just what was built during the 1930s and 40s to house a lot of these patients, because Salina was a lot smaller back then. But yeah, like in these areas right here too, I think these two wings right here is the most activity. If I went inside, I could probably tell you more as to what went on, but and sense it. I even feel right here in this landing that there was something going on. I don't know what, but I feel like maybe this was the laundry room or something, or where they might have kept some bodies too. That I don't know, maybe the morgue is around here somewhere. Maybe it's back over here. I'm not real sure, because I can't figure out the layout exactly because of the add-ins. But I think if there is any spirit activity up here, this would be like into this, I would say 70s and 80s. This was built, so any doctors in this wing who might have passed during that time, because I see a lot of people rushing through this building, like doctors going to and nurses going to patients, and I think there's a lot of residual too. I feel like there's just a ton of residual activity here. Because people who have died here that were here for short term for medical reasons, I don't think they stayed here. I think they passed and then moved on back to their homes where they were more comfortable. But as far as like doctors and nurses who have spent a lot of time here working on patients and stuff, I still feel their energy and their souls here, but I do sense a lot of residual energy. I'm gonna go around back and see if I can sense anything back there. But I think most of the energy, since this is the older part of the wing of the hospital, this is where I'm gonna feel most of the energy. I was pulled here. And I can see doctors, like I said, and nurses rushing around to each room, trying to help patients as they go through. But let me ride around the back part. Most of this is more newer, so you're not gonna sense much in this direction. But in this area, there is a lot of activity I can see. Like I said, I can't go in there because it's blocked off, and there's like a lot of I don't want to get in trouble for trespassing, but here's the newer area of the hospital. Yeah, this is all new. There's little activity, but not much. And then, yeah. Oh, and that over there, yeah. Over there, I sense a lot of activity too. I don't know exactly what went on over there. That might have housed more patients, but I feel like they're long-term care patients in that section of the building versus this section. If you see over there with the windows, they look like arched windows. I feel like there's a lot of long-term patients, people that were being either rehabilitated through mental illness or through I don't know, some other type of sicknesses like cancer that needed round-the-clock help and aid to keep them alive. But then when we get over here, this is all new over here. I don't sense anything in this area. But over in that, I'm gonna look at that roundabout thing over there, see if I can get, it's like a bay window. Let's see if we can. Yeah, that bay window right there. I'm gonna see if I can get a shot of that. Here's the older stuff. Now I'm gonna go around the other way. Okay, you see that spot right there. Now there's something, I feel like a lot of births were happening, like children being born. A lot of, I don't know, maybe that might have been the birthing center at one point. I also see a lot of death, miscarriages, women who have had, who have died. I even see botched abortions, like women who had botched abortions who have died in that area. Let me go around the other way. That seems to be closed off. So yeah, you see that area right there. I have a feeling that that might have housed some birthing centers over there. I'm not really sure, but I see birth, like women having children. But I don't know exactly what was this wing over here. But I think there were a lot of patients who had, some of them had passed in that section, because I sense that's a really old section before this part of it was built onto it, that this was a lot older at the time. But yeah, because this place has been built and rebuilt and added on to, you know, I also see a lot of, yeah. Like I said, I feel like there's like births around here, like people going into labor and stuff. Maybe even a chapel, like a chapel around here too. Like Jesus, I don't know, some kind of chapel or something. It's around this spot. It's kind of hard to tell when you're not allowed inside of it. But yeah, I don't know if I go around the other way if I can see anything else. Let's go. Most of this is remodeled, so if there is any activity, it's very few. I think they just kind of refurbished it for other places. Now when we look over here, this I feel is like built during the 1970s. and you start getting people. I get a sense that people are dressed in like 1970s and 60s medical uniforms. This might have been the drop-off center, but yeah, I think most of the activity is on the side and in that chapel, possibly chapel birthing area. But this was it's a brutalist style section over here. But yeah, that's pretty much all of it. Unless I go in and do a walkthrough of the place, I can't really give you a clear distinction of what's going on. But what I feel mostly drawn to is that back portion where the chapel birthing place is, and this portion where they might have housed a lot of sick and long-term patients. This is where I feel the most strongest pull towards. And I see, like I said, I see a lot of residual activity, but unless I go in there, I can't give you a clear idea. I just see doctors and nurses rushing around, sick people, and the typical hospital stuff. Like I said, I can't come here during night, and I don't have access into it, but I know this section of the wing is haunted, and so is the other one. I can just sense it, and I can feel it, and I can hear them calling out to me. Anyways, that was just a quick overview of a spot that I think is haunted. I don't know, I might do this again, I might not, but I'll just pick places in Salina that I know are haunted, and then I'll try to give you guys an idea of what places that I know have spirit activity. Anyways, I'll talk to you guys later, and you guys have a good day. Bye.